Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Robel and today we're going to be creating this 3D carousel animation in After Effects, and I'm going to be walking you through every steps, and I'll also include all the project files, so make sure to check the links in the description. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Okay, here we have our clip that we are going to work on. It's just me just making the hand gestures that the carousels are on my hand, and I just make them a bigger, and then I'm just looking around the area even though the carousel doesn't exist.
I don't know why I just said that. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but gotta stand by it.
Yeah, I'm just looking around, and at the end I try to catch it. So we're going to separate this clip into three parts: the beginning, the middle, and the ending. So the beginning is till I got the carousel and then make them bigger. So somewhere here. I'm going to split the clip. So I'm going to press Ctrl+Shift+D, and this one I'm going to rename it to beginning. And the end, I'm going to split the clip around somewhere here where my hand is when I raised my hand. So somewhere here will be okay. Yeah, somewhere here. I'm going to split here also by Ctrl+Shift+D, and then I'm going to rename this to ending, and this will be our main clip. So much of the work is done on the main clip. For example, let's say I want to track, because as you can see there is a camera movement or a camera shake around our footage, so I want to track that part. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to make it a full resolution here, and I'm going to go to my tracker and track some objects in the footage. Let's say, so track motion. If you can't find this tracker window, you can go to this window and go to tracker, and if you click on it you can see this panel here. So press on the track motion, and after you press the tracker, we're going to zoom inside a little bit. Where is our tracker? Yeah, it is our tracker, and I'm going to, let's say, track somewhere this leaf around here. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger and even zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to track this leaf because it's quite clear on the footage and it's easier to track it. So I'm going to adjust my position. So the first tracker is going to position itself on the leaf, and this other box, the second box, is where it searches for the inner box. So if you make this smaller, it's not, your PC is not going to take too much energy on tracking this, but if you make it bigger, it's going to be slower. So yeah, be aware of that, and that's it. And after you adjust this tracker, I'm going to click on it, create a new object, and rename this to, let's say, tracker. And on the edit target, select your tracker node layer and then press OK. And then after that, just analyze forward, and I'll meet you guys after the tracking. If you're enjoying this video, consider supporting me on Patreon. You'll get exclusive project files, bonus content, and help me keep creating more videos for you. The link is in the description. Here, as you can see, our tracking is done, and it transferred all the tracking data into this node layer. So I'm going to close it like this. And the second thing we're going to do is duplicate this main clip, and then after you duplicate it, rename it to, let's say, roto, because we're going to rotoscope me. I'm going to rotoscope out every movement I have here because the carousel is revolving around me, so I wanted to this rotoscope layer to be in the middle of this revolving around carousels. So that's why we're going to roto this one out. So select your roto brush and then go inside your layer, and after you go inside your layer, select carefully your subject, something like this. Looks nice. Press Alt to remove selection. Your first selection should be as precise as possible, and After Effects is going to take care of the rest. And as you can see, this looks good, but my hair is, some of it is selected but some of it is not. But we can select the refine edge tool. We can switch the rotoscope tool by pressing Alt. We can switch to this tool and select the refine edge tool and make a roto brush bigger. To make it bigger, Control Alt and drag your mouse and up and down. If you drag your mouse up, it will be bigger, and if you drag down, it will be smaller. So just make it to the right size and draw around my hair something like this, and this will refine the selection around my hair. So this looks good. As you can see, the white is where my hair is when what it's selected, and the dark one, the one it leaves out. So that's it. And after you select this, just press freeze and the rotoscope process will begin, and I'll meet you guys again after the rotoscope is finished. And now our rotoscope is finished rotoscoping, and as you can see, it's really did a good job rotoscoping out everything, and the hair looks good, and you can check it out like this, and it's fairly good selection and I like it. So now we are going to go to the next step, and the next step is creating those carousel images you saw. So the way we're going to do it is, first we're going to make a composition. Let's call it images, and this is a 4K resolution, but I'm going to open out a calculator and I'm going to show you some math. This is, let's say each pictures have a width of 1080, and I'm going to insert 10 pictures to it. So if you times it by 10, at least we're going to need 10,800 pixels of width of a composition. But I'm going to make it even a little bit bigger so that we have more room to work with. So I'm going to make it, let's say 12,000. So the width is going to be 12,000, and let's keep the height the same, and we can change it later on if we are not happy with the result. So here we have this composition, and I've organized the pictures here, the 10 pictures we're going to add. So I'm going to select all of them by shift clicking and then drag them into our composition or in here. So I'm going to spread them out, the pictures in our composition. So let's just drag them somewhere here, and we're going to align them in a better way later on, so don't worry. Just do a roughly just spreading them around your composition, something like this. By the way, these are my own pictures. I used to do street photography, and these are the pictures I took throughout the whole year. And select everything by shift clicking again, and we're going to spread them, distribute them horizontally. So if you press this, it's going to fix everything. And also if you press this one, align vertically, it's going to align everything in the middle vertically. So now they're aligned perfectly well, and they have equal gaps between each of them. So let's go to our main comp here, and one thing we're going to do is drag this carousel images into our main comp, and it's going to look like something like this. And I'm going to add the cylinder effect, and as you can see, as soon as I added the cylinder, it's going to wrap all the images around, and we can reduce the radius to make it smaller, but I don't like to do this way because it's going to smudge the images. So what you're going to do is, on your composition on the image, press S to reveal the scale, and just reduce the scale a little bit, something like this, maybe a little bit bigger. And you can actually adjust the position using this one and the rotation here, but I like to do the rough adjustments on the composition itself down here instead of using this. So make it a little bit bigger, maybe let's make it around 40. This looks cool, I like it. And the other thing we want to do is the image, as you can see, it took the whole composition for us. So I'm going to trim our comp up to this carousel. Actually, let's go to our image here, and in the composition settings, I'm going to increase this to be 12 seconds because it came out short in the composition. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger with something here. And I'm going to trim this composition around where our beginning clip is ending and the middle starts. So here I'm going to control shift D and rename this to, let's say, beginning carousel. Just it's good to keep things organized. And here also control shift D, and I'm going to rename this to ending carousel. It's not car. And now we have separated each one of them, and here on this carousel, the main one, we're going to adjust the rotation. So the way you adjust the rotation is if you go to your CC cylinder effect and go to the rotation and make a keyframe on the Y rotation and go to the end of the carousel and also make another keyframe with whole one revolution, meaning 360 degrees. It's going to start to, and to see the keyframes you put, if you press U on your composition, you can see the keyframes here. So now it's revolving around. Yeah, so that's pretty nice. And we can do the same with these ones too, the beginning and the ending. But one thing I also forgot to do is attach with the pick whip tool to the tracker, because we track the leaf here. As you can see, here it was the leaf. So if you attach it here, it's going to move with our clip the same it was going to have the same movement with the whole footage. And this one, the beginning, we're going to also adjust the scale because I'm going to make it smaller. We don't need to track hands here. Let's make it around 10 and start the clip somewhere here. Actually, I will make it even more smaller. Let's do it 8. 8 sounds good. Okay. And press P on your position to reveal the position. And if you press Shift and S, it's going to have the position and the scale. So make a keyframe on both of them here. It's going to start like this. And in the middle, somewhere I move my hand, I'm going to move it together with my hand and reduce, let's say, 6. And as soon as I squish the carousels here, I'm going to move it here and make this even more smaller. Let's make it 1 because it's going to be in our hand, and then it's going to grow rapidly around here. So we're going to reveal the scale in the position of this and copy it as a keyframe. So let's do this. S says 42, so let's make the scale 42 here. And the position here is this number, so I'm going to copy the position. Just press Ctrl C and paste it on the position itself here. So if we look back again, let's reduce. If you look back again, it's going to get smaller and big. Whoa, okay, I'm going to delete this position keyframe and do it again because it didn't copy correctly. So here, the position, I'm going to make it up somewhere here, and I think that should be enough. Yep, this looks good, and this looks good. I like it. So it's going to be something like this and bigger. Great. So I'm going to do the same thing with the ending. On the ending, go to your composition, do the same, reveal the scale and the position by Shift P, and let's make a position on the ending carousel. So even let's bring the opacity because I can't really see clearly here. So just make it a little bit smaller so that we can have better view of my hand movement. Here I squished it somehow and then bring it here. So I'm going to reduce the scale to, let's say, 20 and move the position to here, and I lowered my hand even more, so I'm going to lower it somewhere here and make it, let's say, 8, smaller. And after a few frames again, we can make it 100 now. The opacity, we can zoom in a little bit, a better view. And at the end of it, let's make the scale 1 and let's take it to our hand. So let's see what we did. Let's zoom out and let's see it. Yes, it goes up and down. So yeah, this movement looks cool. I like it. And the other thing I did is, if you see on the main video, the carousels have this glow effect and also this chromatic aberration, and also I am in the middle. So let's do that one now. So the way we're going to do this is simply by adding here. Let's rename this to be outside, the main one. I renamed this outside because you'll understand it now. Because here on the CC cylinder effect, it's showing the full one, but I just want to see the outside part. So to see only the outside part, you can change it to outside, and we can add also a glow effect to it by adding a deep glow. I added a deep glow, and you can adjust the settings to have some chromatic aberration, something like this. You can adjust the exposures and the radius to however you like. And I'm going to actually copy this glow to the ending carousel and also the beginning carousel. And I'm going to also copy the outside by Control D, and let's rename this to inside, and we're going to take it down. Well, we're going to take it below our roto layer, and let's change it to, instead of the outside, let's change it to inside. Then we can clearly see that I am in the middle, the roto layer is in the middle, and the inside is behind, and the outside is outside it. To make it more clear, we can bring it down to somewhere here. We don't need the tracker. Let's take the tracker up in the first one. So this way it makes sense. The outside is here and the inside is below the roto. So yeah, this is how you do it. And to make this pictures oval, the way we're going to do it, we're going to go to our image, and let's click on our image, the first image, and let's make a pre-comp. Let's rename this HUD1, and I'm going to leave all attributes to images and just press OK. And here we have our image in a new composition. Go to our composition, right click, go to new, and create a shape layer. And after you create the shape layer, by selecting this mask tool, draw around your composition a rectangle. And the rectangle is like this because the fill is empty, but select a color here and then press OK. And if you go to the rectangle and the rectangle patch under content, the roundness, make it around, let's say 10, and it's going to create an oval shape of the rectangle layer, or more, maybe make it more to however you like, and it's going to be like this. Good. So the next thing we're going to do is duplicate the shape layer, and for now just turn it off, and on the image turn the track matte. If you can't find the track matte, just you can toggle the switch here, or if you press right click under columns, you can select the modes and you can get this track matte. So select the image here, and under the track matte select the shape layer 1, and it's going to be under this. So turn on this second shape layer and delete the fill. And to delete it, just press Alt and click till you find this one. So now we have an image that is cut around the corners, but also have a stroke around it, something like this. If you can see the edges here, it have a stroke here. Let's make it full. And it have a stroke here, and this stroke is this one. We can actually rename it to stroke, and this one is a matte. So yeah, this is how you change the image you just created into oval shape, and just to make it like a story post on Instagram or something. And you should do it to each pictures the same. And then you're going to come up with something like this. And every shape now you see here is done the same way. Create a composition, and after you create a composition, you create a matte and a stroke, and track the matte to the picture, and da-da-da-da-da-da. So after you do everything, it's going to look like this. So this is how you're going to create this. But also to put a revolution here, you can do a keyframe on the Y rotation, and here, and at the end also you can make a full rotation here and just making a keyframe. So it's revolving and then bigger. So you can do the same with the ending part 2, ending carousel, the same on the rotation. Press a keyframe here, and at the end of here, press 1, and there you have it. It's rotating now, they're getting bigger. So yeah, this is how you create the carousel images. And this is what I have for you guys today, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And if you do, make sure to like and subscribe, and because it will mean the world to me. And I'll see you guys with another video and with another concept. Till then, bye.